In this video, Mike takes on a project unlike anything he's built before, hand-carving a dugout canoe from a single 50-year-old tree trunk. But this isn't just a woodworking challenge, it's the first step toward a 1,500-kilometer journey along the Great Barrier Reef, inspired by one of the most remarkable survival stories in Australian history. Over the months ahead, that fallen tree will be transformed entirely by hand into a seaworthy vessel built to carry one man through some of the most remote coastline in the world. The log begins its journey in Newcastle, New South Wales, where it is removed as part of routine public safety clearance after standing for more than 50 years. Once it arrives at the workshop, the bark is stripped away, exposing the raw timber and preparing the log for transformation into a working vessel. Transporting a log of this size is no small task in itself. Its sheer weight and length demand careful handling every step of the way. From the moment it's lifted at the removal site to the moment it finally comes to rest in the backyard workshop, where the real transformation begins. Once positioned, the log is left to settle before any cutting starts, giving Mike time to study its natural curve, grain pattern, and any imperfections that will influence how the final hull takes shape. Dugout canoes are among the oldest forms of watercraft in human history, dating back thousands of years across dozens of cultures. Early builders shaped them using stone, bone, or metal tools, relying on a single tree trunk to create a vessel for fishing, trade, and exploration. Different regions developed their own variations. Outrigger designs across the Pacific Islands for ocean stability, wider holes in Africa and the Amazon for carrying heavy loads, and slender profiles among North American tribes built for maneuvering narrow waterways. What unites all of these traditions, regardless of region or era, is the same basic principle Mike is now applying by hand. A single piece of timber, carefully read and respected, can be turned into something capable of carrying a person safely across open water. The interior of the log is carefully hollowed out to form the canoe's inner cavity. Mike begins this stage using only hand tools, demonstrating that the craft can be shaped through skill and patience alone before switching to chainsaws and electric grinders to speed through the heavier, repetitive cutting. Working with hand tools first allows the timber to be read closely before any aggressive cutting begins. Each strike of the adze or chisel removes only a thin layer at a time, letting the natural grain guide where the next cut should fall. This slower opening phase also reduces the risk of an uneven cavity forming early, a mistake that would be far harder to correct once the bulk of the material is removed with power tools. To deal with woodworm damage hidden inside the aged timber, a controlled burning process is used. The flames are closely monitored to clear the pests without scorching or weakening the surrounding wood. Near failage bait, partway through the burn, the flame lingers too long over one section near the stern. When the surface is checked, a hairline crack has opened along the grain, exactly the kind of weak point that could split the hull once it's under load on open water. Small sections are treated at a time, with the surface checked and cooled before moving to the next area, ensuring the fire does its job without compromising the integrity of the hull. Hull thickness is one of the most demanding parts of the build to get right. The thinner the hull, the more it can carry, but the more fragile it becomes. Every pass of the tool is guided by sound and feel as much as by measurement, refining the curve until the hull responds evenly across its entire length. Mike checks wall thickness repeatedly throughout the stage, often tapping the timber and listening for changes in tone that hint at thinner or thicker sections beneath the surface. With the hull shaped, attention turns to stability. Outriggers, long wooden arms extending from each side of the canoe, are added to keep it balanced against unpredictable ocean swell. The design draws on centuries-old seafaring traditions, where outriggers were essential for safe open ocean travel. Each arm acts as a counterweight, resisting the tipping motion created when waves strike from the side. Mounting the outriggers requires precise symmetry. Even a small difference in length or angle between the two sides could throw off the canoe's balance once it's loaded and moving through open water. Each arm is measured against the other repeatedly before being secured, ensuring the finished structure responds evenly, no matter which side a wave strikes from. Next comes the mast, built from bamboo poles chosen for their strength relative to their light weight. Each pole is measured, trimmed, and balanced to suit the canoe's proportions. A sail is then hand-sewn from durable fabric capable of holding wind without tearing, and rope lines are rigged to keep it secure to the mast and responsive to sudden wind changes. Once the mast is upright and the rigging tightened, the canoe takes on a noticeably different profile. No longer just a hollowed log, but a vessel now capable of harnessing wind alongside paddle power for the long stretches ahead. Mid-Meteor CTA, place here right after the mast and sail go up. If you're enjoying watching this build come together, drop a like and consider subscribing to Buildora. It's the easiest way to support more builds like this one. As construction nears completion, the focus shifts from carving to refining. The hull is sanded and polished to a smooth, glass-like finish, a step that improves appearance while also reducing drag through the water. This polishing stage happens gradually, moving through progressively finer grits to remove every remaining tool mark left from the hollowing process. What started as a rough, uneven surface slowly takes on a smooth, almost reflective quality, revealing the natural grain pattern that had been hidden inside the timber the entire time, including, faintly, the reinforced section near the stern where that early crack was caught and repaired. Natural oils and resins are then worked into the wood, soaking deep into the grain to protect against moisture, insects, and rot, while still allowing the timber to breathe and expand naturally with temperature changes. Finally, storage compartments are built into the hull, providing space for the supplies, tools, and food the upcoming expedition will require. Each compartment is positioned with the upcoming journey in mind, easy to reach from a seated paddling position, but sealed well enough to keep food and equipment dry even if water washes over the deck during rougher stretches of the trip. After months of cutting, burning, shaping, and sealing, the finished canoe is lowered into the water for its first real test. It settles evenly, stable, and balanced, including along the once cracked section near the stern, now indistinguishable from the rest of the hull. Every careful measurement and every moment of caution when something nearly went wrong has paid off. The canoe performs exactly as hoped, strong, watertight, and perfectly buoyant, with the outriggers steadying it against the current and the sail catching its first real gust of open air. The canoe moves smoothly across the water, a 50-year-old tree trunk now reborn as a vessel ready to carry one man, 1,500 kilometers along the coast it once stood beside. This canoe is more than a finished project. It's the product of months of patience, a few real setbacks along the way, and a deep respect for a survival story nearly 2 centuries old. It won't retrace James Morrell's exact path, but it carries the same spirit of resourcefulness that got him through 42 days at sea and 17 years living off the land. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Buildora and watch more amazing projects like this in future.